Children of the night, what music they make.
They're all gonna laugh at you!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's up?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash you a bit.
Welcome to the first final, guys, of 2025, you sons of bitches. We're back. It's been, I guess, only 2 episodes off, but we record every week, so it's been 3 weeks since I saw you guys, and I gotta say, I did not miss you at all. That's quite nice.
Chad made it a point to say that he didn't miss us.
Yeah, he did.
This sucks.
Oh, I don't have our names up because they changed everything on StreamYard. I'm Jason Brandt, joined as always by Chad Lutsky.
Good evening. Happy New Year.
Hunter Shea.
It ain't New Year until we've dropped our big balls on all of you. So,
Very nice.
enjoy it.
All right.
And Jack Campisi.
Happy birthday.
Oh, God.
So this is actually probably my favorite episode that we record. I really enjoy doing this, even though my list, as soon as I finish it, I immediately change 4 things up and take 2 movies off and put 2 on. And
Yep.
And as we're going through them, I'm usually even moving shit up and down my list as you guys are talking. I'm like, you know what? They're right. That's a better movie. But I don't know. I always look forward to this. It takes forever, so buckle up. Hang in there with us as we do our top 13 movies of the year. You guys have anything you want to throw out there before we jump into this shit?
I have a sound effect thing. For Christmas, I got a emergency Bigfoot caller.
Oh, nice.
So, my favorite is the groan that I use whenever anybody kind of moves because it sounds like a fart.
Oh, that's good.
Wow.
So, if we start to go long, I'll do the howl.
Oh,
Okay.
So, that's be like the Academy Awards. If you start to go too long, I'll hit the howl.
are you aware you can take that out of the packaging?
I know, but it's so special in the package.
It's got to be worth pennies.
I got a Mr. T one of those. I got to go dig it up.
Okay, so we'll do round robin on this as always, and I guess we'll just start with number 13 and get this bitch going if you guys don't have anything else.
Let's do
Number
it.
13.
All right, Jack, what was your number 13 movie?
My number 13 movie was a little Shudder original that I was very surprised by for its renegade filmmaking technique. It was a movie called Mads, which was filmed in all one take, one night, all over town, followed 3 different people sort of throughout the movie, and was just a really fascinating movie to watch and impressive as far as filmmaking goes. And it was a fun movie. It was action packed and all that. But if this movie wasn't done in one take, wouldn't have made my list. But when you watch this thing in one take, there's a scene on a motorcycle that you're just like, holy crap.
Yeah.
And just it was like a stage play done across a whole town. So Mads, number 13 for me.
Very nice. Very
Solid
nice.
choice. I really like that movie.
Yeah, me too.
Are we doing drinking words or did I miss that? Was I zoned out?
No, we totally didn't do those.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. When we say these words, you drink. If you have a liver left after the holidays, Jack's words tonight are strange, red, and substance, which he finds leaking out of him often. My words are Grant, Immaculate, and MaXXXine. Jason's are Cuckoo, Abigail, and Year. Chad's are Daddies, Long Legs, and Devil. And bonus, if any of us say Heretic, Head, or List, drink up.
Oh, very nice.
List is going to get mileage.
Easy words, yeah. Easy words. Low-hanging
catch.
words.
Good catch, Chad. I was trying to blast through this episode because I know how long this goes. All right, Squatch Mo.
My number 13, by the way, when I did my list, I said, I only have 12. So I really don't have room to make alternates just to move stuff around. So my number 13 is a controversial movie. It's In a Violent Nature. The Friday the 13th is told from the point of view of the killer with no soundtrack. and lots of walking, and there's great periods of nothing happening. But then when the kills happened, man, there was some of the best kills I've seen in a long time. Yanking someone's head out through their abdomen backwards was pretty freaking cool. Kudos for the idea. And I could see why people hate the movie, and I can see why people love the movie. And I really liked it. So it's something different for the genre for slashers. So kudos for that.
With kills for me, but
That's a good number 13, man.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
Friday the 13th. 13.
Yeah.
If
okay,
there was a list for like most anticipated movie that pissed me off,
yeah,
that's number one to the
Number
25th
one, yeah.
power.
Yeah, I
Well,
thought
I
I'd be
get it.
pissed off too, because you would warn me. So I went in already like angry. And I was like, oh, I kind of liked it. Jason's a dummy.
Everyone in my life tells me that, so it must be true. All right, Lutsky.
Believe it or not, my number 13 is a Tubi original.
Well, I'm sure you had to fill your list with whatever you could find.
7 of them are Tubi originals.
And it was recommended by Mr. Campisi. It's called Low Lifes, and I don't
Noise.
know if everyone has seen it here. I don't know.
I did.
But cool movie, white trash, gritty, like kind of.
Is somebody typing? Or is that like
I am.
Dick hitting
Sorry.
the bottom
Yeah,
of the
Jack.
desk?
I'll mute. Sorry.
Home
Jiggling his
invasions
pole.
/ backwoods kind of whatever. It has a different play on it. I thought it was good, especially for a Tubi original. But just even without that, because the bar is so low, and it was like, yeah, this is not bad. And
Yeah, that was shocking how good that movie was.
yeah, I dug it, man. It was good.
Tubi's slowly up in their game. It's
And then
all right.
every now and then
Let's
just
hope
brings
so.
the game right back down.
Yeah, that's-
Let's not get carried away.
Yeah.
You know, stroking Tubi off because for every one of those, there's like 20.
The expectation for Tubi's so low. I said they're slowly upping their game, and everyone's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa!"
Yeah, calm down.
Remember Bite, the werewolf movie with the cell phone?
Oh god.
Ooh.
Oh god. All right, my number 13 is okay. So I got a couple in here that I'm like, I did not know where to put them. This is one I thought would be really high up the list when I saw it, and it just got slowly pushed down to the end of the year. And it's my number 13, MaXXXine. And the reason it is not way higher up my list is the ending. I didn't think the ending held up to the whole trilogy. I don't want to
Wow.
spoil it here for anybody, but I talked about it in depth when we reviewed it. I still like this movie a lot. It actually got quite a bit of hate, and I was a little surprised to see that. I enjoyed the music. Kevin Bacon's amazing. Mia Goth is amazing. I had a lot of fun with this movie. If they'd nailed the ending, would be way higher up my list. So MaXXXine, baby.
Wow,
I think there's
that's
going to be a
shocking.
lot of movies like that this year because I feel like I was doing the same thing. I'd look at it and go, I like that movie. And then they dropped the ball here, or there was like one thing that prevented it from catapulting.
Yeah,
But I still liked it a lot.
Yep, I've got 3 where the ending lowered it for me that are all at the bottom of my list. So I'm with you. All right, what's your number 12, Jackie?
Number 12, there were several movies in this vein, and it's religious horror via mothering the devil kind of things.
2024 was all about religion and horror. That was
Yeah.
the theme.
I'm going with Azrael with Samara Weaving, another Shudder movie, I believe.
Yeah.
And there was Immaculate, there was First Omen, some other. Those 3 were basically about some sort of motherly and the devilly kind of things. So, out of those, I thought this was start to finish my favorite one. Even though there's very little dialogue, there's great action in it. And whereas like Immaculate, I loved the ending, but I thought the rest of the movie was kind of pedestrian. And First Omen, I really liked, surprised the hell out of me. The retrofitting the Omen stuff got clunky for me, so I enjoyed both of those movies, and they were surprising to me. But I'm going Azrael for the one that made the list.
Wow.
Oh, all right. Very nice. Hunter.
I'm just surprised you called anything with Sydney Sweeney and Pedestrian. It's shocking.
Watch that romantic comedy with her and
I
Glenn
did.
Powell.
I sure did. I paid.
That's
for
not pedestrian.
it. Nope. All right. Guess what? My number 12 is Azrael.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
It is scary how many times every year Jack and I align on movies in weird spots too.
Yeah, I think you guys are in the same room, just touching tips on the other side of the desk while you do these.
We sure are, buddy. A little fraudage between friends.
Docking.
Yeah. If you don't know about docking, I'll tell you all later in a special Patreon episode. So I like this movie a lot. I think Samara Weaving was great. She's always great. Unfortunately, she had no voice box. She has the best scream in horror history. I was like, oh, we got deprived. But that's okay. Because for some reason, I also enjoy movies where like the heroine takes incredible beatings and still gets on their feet. I mean, beatings that like, Brock Lesnar would be on the ground crying, pissing blood. So I thought it was really cool. I didn't, in the beginning, I was like, what the hell? Who is she? What is, because there's no context going on. You don't know. It takes a while to figure stuff out. And I'm still thinking about those weird, crispy zombie people. I look for them in the woods all the time out my back door. So thank you, Netflix, and thank you, Samara Weaving. And yeah, that was a damn good one.
Was that Netflix? I didn't remember that.
I mean, not Netflix, Shudder.
Oh, okay. Shudder. Yeah. For a Shudder movie in particular, that's pretty high end.
Yeah.
Lutsky.
That's weird, man, because I keep looking at the list and I'm like, every time I see Azrael, I'm like, what was that? And I have to look it up because I can't remember it. So
Thinking of the Smurfs.
Make my list. But we're close. We're close, Hunter. I got Into Violent Nature for number 12.
Oh, all right.
I knew it'd
Wow,
probably be
brother.
on there just because, I mean, it wasn't the greatest movie, but I didn't hate it, and I appreciated what they were doing with it. And of course, the kills, and we get ourselves a new mask. And yeah, there were some things that I would have liked done better, but the cast in particular that was killed, they drove me nuts. But at least we get to see him die, so that was cool.
Maybe.
But yeah, In a Violent Nature, I can't even remember where, and that was like what, halfway through the year that came out.
It came out
April.
earlier in the year, but then it became available like probably April, May, right around there.
Yeah.
Not bad, man. I haven't seen as many movies as you guys that came out this year, so I know that there's probably going to be like MaXXXine. I still haven't seen MaXXXine. There's probably going to be a few that maybe I would have put on this list that I just haven't seen. Cuckoo sounds like it's up my alley, and another I haven't seen. So we'll see.
I actually keep a spreadsheet, and I watched over 80 2024 movies.
Wow. Yeah.
Good
No, I'm nowhere
heavens.
near that. Nowhere near that. For
Wow.
me.
Yeah, I have no idea how many I have, but it wouldn't surprise me if you haven't seen like half of my list, but we'll find out. All right. My number 12 is Oddity, a movie that I had heard nothing about. We watched it. This is supremely low budget. A couple
Yeah.
of people in what, 2 locations, I think, for the movie?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Really, really well made. I dug the hell out of this. The intro, the beginning of the movie is so freaking intense. Brilliant stuff. And then there's other parts where things are happening with a wooden dummy or carving or whatever the hell you want to call it. You're just waiting for shit to happen. It's just a really well made movie. Stylistically, it's great. It looks great for what had to be a minuscule budget. So, really loved Oddity. If you haven't seen it yet, check that out. Is that on Shudder?
I think it is.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
The tension of that guy banging on the door and requesting to come in, that's
Yeah,
tough
man.
stuff.
Yeah. Good.
When I saw the trailer to that, I was worried. I was like, this is going to be boring, artsy, whatever. I was trying not to watch the trailer, so I was just like my first impression before I sort of averted my eyes. I was so pleasantly surprised by that movie.
It's funny. One of my editors, he always sends me movie recs or what to stay away from. I got an email. It said Oddity in the subject line, and I opened up. It just said Crapola. It's like,
Wow.
all right, well, let me see what this is. I'm like, no, you're wrong. This movie was good.
Yeah. Well written.
Wow. Yeah, I dug it.
Someone needs to edit him.
Check.
Okay, what are we at? 11? All right. Number 11. Let's go back to the 70s with one of the, I would say this year, the first half of the year, this year was not looking good, at least from my perspective.
No.
Not a whole lot of good stuff. The one movie that really stood out above the rest for me and was way higher up on my list till other stuff came out, Late Night with the Devil.
Oh, wow.
Really enjoyed the retro look of this movie. This is another one that got a little clunky at the end, but I watched it twice. It's very rewatchable. It feels like one of those ones that every October, if you're looking for something to watch, that's a fun one. It's got a lot of fun mythology, great acting, a lot of also kind of fun, laughable things in it. So I think start to finish, that's a good, fun movie, and that was a good place for it on my list.
It's the only movie that came out this year that I watched more than once. And I don't even know why.
There's a few I watched more than once, and I'll mention them. But yeah, that one I watched almost immediately. Like I saw it in the theater, and then as soon as it came out in Shudder, I watched it again because I was like, I need to see like that ending again to see what the hell actually happened.
That's one of those movies for me where I was like, should I put it here? Or does it not even make my list? Oh, what about here? Or, oh, I think I liked it better than that. Maybe not. Just right on the periphery.
Yeah.
Hunt up.
We're at 11. So I had to cram this movie in today because right after the holidays, my car broke and it was in the shop for a week. And as soon as it was ready, I was sick. So I was like, oh, I got to run. See this. And this might be controversial. Number 11 is Nosferatu. I honestly, going in, thought this movie would probably be like top 5 with a bullet. I think it looks great. The acting is really good. It is too long. And it just made me realize how not invested I am in Dracula stories. And I'm just kind of tired of the same thing with just a different look. So, I mean, I appreciate everything that went into that movie. I thought Orlok was cool. Not as scary as the original Nosferatu, but hopefully a year 100. It's been 100 years, I think, since the original was made. Let's put a stake in it. No more Dracula movies for 100 years, and let's move on. Let's create new monsters. I think that's to the whole movie. I just want new monsters. I just saw a coming attraction for a werewolf. I'm like, we're just bringing these things back over and over again. So, but execution-wise, great. It's just it didn't bring anything new to the table for me. That's why.
The real question is, how high up the list is this movie for Jack? That is the question.
Oh,
That's what I've been waiting
question,
for.
isn't it?
yeah.
Like, as I was in the theater watching it, I was like, I wonder if Jack's alone with his pants down watching this movie.
Oh, that's not butter on his popcorn.
What you got, Lusky?
You guys might be surprised by this. It's one of those movies where I thought it was okay. I was the one that liked it the least. But after having a discussion with other people, you start to pick things out and appreciate them more. And that happens all the time on the show for all of us. So Red Rooms is my number 11.
I like real Red Rooms, but that's fine.
I'm surprised this made your list.
Yeah, me too. But again, I didn't have a lot, there was a lot of stuff that I didn't see. I probably only have maybe, I don't know, 15 or 20 more movies that I saw that came out this year that aren't on the list. So it's not like I had a lot to choose from. But fortunately, I am happy with all of I liked all of the ones on my list. So yeah, Red Rooms, great.
So you feel that we wouldn't have it on our list, or that we would have it higher than you?
No, I'm just saying the episode that we covered it, I liked it the least.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that.
But after the episode, I appreciated it more because of the discussion, which happens, So, but yeah, Red Rooms. It's also one of those movies where going in, I'm thinking I got my different brain part switched on, and then realizing halfway through or at the end, oh, maybe I should have, this is something different than I thought it was, which I tend to do that sometimes. So Hunter has that same switch. It's called his wife. And Jason, I think, has one too. It's called beer. But I
don't drink when I watch the main features, just everything else.
Oh, okay.
She's just popping gummies like there's no tomorrow.
I can't do that, dude. They make me way too stupid. All right. What? 11.
Yeah.
Number 11 is another movie that would have been higher up my list, except I just did not appreciate the ending, and that is The Substance.
Whoa.
Amazing effects, great acting, nudity forever. If you are an ass man, this is the greatest film ever made. I mean, the close-ups of women's asses in this, it's something to behold.
Who was the wrestler who had the song? 'Cause I'm an ass man.
That's a good question.
idea.
But they should they should give a class on how to light an ass. It was crazy. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah. Demi
I'm
Moore,
curious to see where this movie lands for everybody in this podcast.
Demi Moore holds nothing back. I mean, she's what, 60? 60s?
60s, I think.
Did you see her Golden Globes speech?
Yeah. Congratulations to
So
me.
she won a
Yeah.
Golden Globe, and she got up there and was like, I've never actually won anything for being in a movie. And I was
Ever.
told by executives that I'm a popcorn actress and that my movies are going to make a lot of money, but I'm not going to ever be acknowledged with awards or anything. And I was ready to quit. And then this script came along and I did it. And here you go. I won an award for.
I mean, good for her
my
because
Mhm.
there was nothing in her career that made you think she had this in her.
This is if you think about the movies that she was in, like G.I. Jane and Ghost, and she's been in a lot of good movies. This is the last movie I would ever think she would get an award for.
Right.
It's because it's shitting on their own industry and it's shitting on men. That's why. And it's a good movie, but that's why.
And it's,
I mean,
yeah, and it's got a war concert at the end, you know?
Oh, my Lord.
dude, the ending is where it completely lost me. Once they're in the theater, I was like, what the fuck?
I loved it, man. Total dead alive at that point.
This would have been so much higher up my list, but didn't like the ending, so The Substance, still a damn good movie.
All right.
Jack.
We're now in
Everybody
top
get
10.
ready for the Attack of the Indie movies, baby.
Uh-oh.
This one's not on anybody's list but mine. Let's go with a good year for vampires. Humanist vampire seeking consenting suicidal person.
I wanted to sneak this in, and I totally forgot
French
about it.
movie. A young vampire is not killed yet. She's hesitant to take a life. Her family is pressuring her. And then she meets a boy who is contemplating, as the title says, suicide. And they form a relationship where it would be mutually beneficial for each one of them. And what unfolds is I've never really thought about the word charming in a horror movie before, but this movie is like, a friend of mine saw it and had said this thing is, yeah, that movie was like charming, but it's got like a real horror side to it. It's got a funny side to it, and it's got great writing. And every time I think about it, I'm like, wow, I went in this movie just hoping it wasn't going to be a boring art house movie. And I walked out like, wow, that was a great take on a vampire story. So if you haven't seen it yet, I recommend it.
Well, the title just rolls off the tongue.
Yeah. I'll never remember that.
No.
Damn it. That was one I wanted to get in, and when I was thinking about stuff at the end of the year, it never occurred to me again. Damn it.
Well, because you can't think of the title. You just go, oh, Jack saw this vampire movie, but he told us about 40. So which one is it?
Yeah, that's true. All right, what do you got?
All right. Number 10. This is probably going to be up higher for you guys. It is the big Oz Perkins Long Legs. I went to the theater to see this, and this is also the night I lost my phone in the theater. Ruined the whole experience. But anyway, I found it eventually. I think the atmosphere is great. Alicia Witt is phenomenal in this movie. She's like the true gem. Nicolas Cage is Nicolas Cage. Yeah, he's playing I don't know, like a Tiny Tim kabuki doll maker, whatever the hell he was in that movie. He was good. Micah Monroe, who I really like her in movies. I just did not like her character whatsoever. Just some weird Sheldon Cooper can't interact with people kind of thing. You're already dealing with all these wackos. You need somebody who's semi-grounded. And like Oz movies, it's very slow paced. So there were a couple of moments when I was like, the eyes were starting to droop a little bit. I was like, whoa, wake up. But still, it's a very good movie. It's just not a movie I ever need to see again. Like once you get to me with the top 5, these are movies I have to own. But above that, these are movies that I really enjoyed for one reason or another, but don't necessarily need to add them to my steady repertoire. But yeah, it's a good movie. It's strange as hell. If it had more Nicolas Cage, maybe a little bit better. But I hope at least more Alicia Witt stuff.
I wish I'd been sitting in the theater with you guys when he starts singing in the car, and I was like, "Is that Nicolas Cage?" I was like, "What the hell?" Like I had completely forgotten he was in the movie.
Yeah, really.
That was pretty hilarious. So, alrighty, Chet.
My number 10. Okay, so you guys know me. I love the 70s. So if a movie takes place in the 70s, I already love it.
You're done.
So late Night with the Devil. Totally unique. I will admit that I think that maybe I didn't like it as much as I thought I would, but it did have some moments that I was not expecting, like the hypnotism and the all that kind of stuff, where it just went crazy. I loved it. I think once it got to a certain point, I think all of us just like were just so tuned into that part when just it went off the rails. But yeah, I like it a lot, man. The nostalgia, it has like a found footage feel, but it breaks the rules. And I think most people are like, that's okay. You know, whatever. It was a good movie. And I think it got a bad rap for when people tried to cancel it right away before it was out with the AI image that they used in there.
Oh, that was so stupid. Those people need to be put in a rocket.
It was ridiculous. It was a good movie. People who wrote it and were in it did a great job, and that is my number 10, Late Night with the Devil.
That movie got hyped to shit.
It did. Yeah. It did. Yeah, that was solid. I forgot about that AI crap, man.
Yeah,
that was
me too.
So ridiculous. People were out of their minds. All right, my number 10 is on here because of the character. The most intriguing character of the year is in the movie Red Rooms. I had no idea what to make of this. It is a slow burn, but the main character is so fucked up, so weird and interesting that I was all in on her the entire movie. I was listening to every freaking word she said. This is a movie that I don't know. I don't know if I shouldn't like it or it's just unexpected for me that I was so into watching a woman like type at her computer for 10-minute stretches.
Dude, trying to get Bitcoins.
Yeah, I'm like,
do her bidding. I thought I was wrapped up in that.
Yeah, she's in a chat room, and I'm like, oh my god, what's going to happen? It's just this movie just clicked for me, and I really dug it. The French really came through this year with their filmmaking, man, with their horror films in particular. Just good shit. I really, really liked Red Rooms.
By the way, she was similar to the Micah Monroe character in Longlegs, but there was something way more interesting about her and watching her process.
Yeah. Go listen to our episode if you want to hear more about it. We go in depth. I don't want to spoil anything, but that is a really weird character. Like, she does some wild shit in that movie. And
oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, good shit.
Number
nine. Number nine is The Substance for me.
Oh. I thought this would be higher up your list.
I thought so, too.
So did I.
No, this is
just
like
from blood
Hunter's,
loss.
This is like Hunter's number 2. And for me, I'm more on Jason's side of the fence on this. I really think this is a technically marvelous movie and very enjoyable. It gets batshit bonkers at the end, and I will watch it again, and I may, change my stance a little bit. But when I walked out, I was like, wow, that was a great movie. And then the last 15 minutes, I got a kick out of. My normie friend with me was like, they should have stopped.
Turn it off. Turn it off.
And I was like, you know what? I could grow to like that part more and more every time I watch it. But it did get a little bit wonky. But I don't want to dwell on the negative on that because it's still in my top 10. I really like this movie a lot. Some of the best performances of the year. Both lead actresses are amazing, and an unforgettable movie. So a must see. But just there was some other movies that I thought, as far as my favorites go, I'd put higher than that.
Were you
very
upset that you
disappointed.
Okay.
Good.
No, Jason, go ahead.
I was gonna say I was very disappointed to learn that woman's incredible rack in that movie was prosthetic.
That's really why it was lower.
I mean, damn it.
It looked.
lost
Mithrigan had
7
more
points right
looking,
there.
more real looking boobs.
You know how I said if Mads was, had cuts in it, it might be lower than Alyssa.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Same concept.
Yeah, it was like that immediately as soon as I learned that, down 5 points.
It's real boobs.
Next, they're going to tell me Gollum wasn't real.
Oh, no way. Let's see. What am I? Number 9. Number 9 is Mads. So
Hey.
this movie that came out of nowhere, and Jack, I'm the same way. Hearing that it was one single take, although people in the chat here are now saying they've heard possibly not. I don't care. I'm going to go to my grave just believing it was one take. But that aside, it was the frenetic pacing. It went all the way to the floor with the gas pedal at the start and never once let up. I thought that was cool. It had me tense through the entire damn thing. Again, that's a French movie, right? Wasn't it French?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, French killing it. Mads coming out of left field. So.
Yeah, I never even heard of it. And that capital S, it's like, what is this shit? What kind of-
I know.
I still don't understand that.
I don't either. Chad.
This one, I don't know if this is going to be on anybody's list, and I'm shocked that it's on mine because this actor is hit or miss for me. There's only a couple movies that I've seen him in that I just love. And this movie is Arcadian. I didn't expect it to like it as much as I did. I thought Nicolas Cage did a great job. It like felt like nothing new, sort of, but I don't know. It's the way that it was handled. It's like the Bird Box, Quiet Place type of thing. We're stuck in our house, or Vampire even. Where you're just stuck in your house and you can only go out at a certain time. It was really intense. The creatures looked really freaking cool, man. With their
for that
jaws
budget,
snapping.
what they did was cool.
And then it kind of had that critter ball hokey thing at the end, but it was also very cool too. But yeah, I like that way more than I thought I would, and it was kind of maybe one of the bigger surprises for me this year. Arcadian, Nicolas Cage.
I like that one. That was a surprise for me too. I thought it was going to be shit, and it wasn't.
Oh yeah, I thought it'd be like Tubi original quality. But I was so impressed by that movie. I actually named a location in the book I'm writing, the Arcadian.
Oh,
like,
nice.
Yeah, I was like, I started writing it like 2 months after I saw it. I'm like, oh yeah, the Arcadian. I like it.
I enjoyed that movie, but it came nowhere near my list.
I didn't even write it down in my book to go through my list, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I still want to know what happened in that bathtub in the farmhouse towards the end. There's like a shot there. I'm like, what's happening? All right, we are. What is this? 9? Yes.
Yep.
Number 9 for me is Mads. I liked this movie when I watched it. I thought it was entertaining. I thought it had some really weird shit in it that I didn't like. When the guy's on the phone with the security woman for like 15 minutes, and she's like, "Will you enter your code?" He's like, "Oh, I'm almost at the door. Will you?" Like shit like that. I was like, "Why is this in the movie?" And then when you find out it's one take, it's like, "Oh, okay, that changed everything about this movie." So, just as a film, I don't know if this would have made my top 13 list, maybe towards the bottom, but the way they made it, the filmmaking involved, moved it up to where I wanted it high enough for people to be like you need to see this. And I would absolutely watch this again to see how they're doing everything. I see, was it Johnny Recaps in the chat said it wasn't one shot? I have heard both. I've heard more people say it was one shot because I looked it up after you guys had said it, and I assumed it was one shot. I don't know.
Yeah.
If it's not one shot and their marketing is that's bullshit. But if it is one shot, that's just bonkers. I swear I read the director talking about it.
That's what I thought
I did too.
Yeah. So I don't
Johnny
know.
Recaps, get on that. Fact check.
Did you send him his plaque?
Recap, Johnny.
I did not send him the plaque, but
don't send it to him then.
downstairs in a box somewhere.
Johnny just lost his plaque.
It's been revoked. But this is a movie that I would recommend to anybody who's into films, who's not going to be freaked out by the subtitles. Just be like, go check this out and know they did this live. How incredible the planning had to be for that.
As far as I know, all the breasts are real. So
Oh, yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let me move it a couple more spots here.
I verified that just
You guys
now.
ever see Birdman with Michael Keaton? Because
Yes.
that
No.
is shot as if it's one shot, but there's a couple of places where they go in a dark room or something and
Yep.
they place a cut.
Yeah.
If Mads did that, it is BS that they're marketing it, that they're not. But there would really only be a couple of places where they maybe could have done that. So it's still pretty impressive if there's one or two cuts.
I thought there were places where they'd done that, but it could have just been them moving actors around the camera. So I don't know.
And they stuck the ending. They stuck the landing on the ending.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Oh yeah. Great ending.
Yeah.
Hard to do.
Oh, and I don't think any of us mentioned it. The freaking acting by two of the characters who are turning
Yeah.
is top notch for the whole year. Just
it was
nailed it.
exhausting to watch.
Yeah. The woman on the bike is next level.
Yeah.
Really good acting. So
Yeah.
On Shudder, folks. Watch it if you haven't seen it.
Number 8.
number
Ocho,
Everybody
ESPN,
ready?
the Ocho.
Everybody sitting down?
Yeah.
Number 8 for me is Nosferatu.
Oh, I can't believe this isn't like number 2
Number
or
one
something.
or two. Yeah.
This is blowing my mind.
Whoa.
This is a great movie. You should definitely see it. I understand people's fatigue to the Dracula story. The Gary Oldman movie is 30 years old.
Jesus.
I believe 30, something like that.
Yeah, it's close, if not.
And there are things about this movie that I wish the Gary Oldman movie had done. And there's things about the Gary Oldman movie that as I was walking at the theater with my normie friends, I said, neither of them had seen either one of these. They'd never seen a Nosferatu or the Dracula. So they were, so all the stuff I'm explaining to them, they're like, really? Oh,
You're like, it needed more Keanu.
yeah.
Whoa.
Well, this is a Robert Eggers movie. So it has his fingerprints all over it.
Oh, yeah.
And there are some really great things they do with the Nosferatu story. As you know, Nosferatu is stolen Dracula with some changed names and a changed ending. I have always preferred the Dracula story to the Nosferatu story. So in real life, I've seen the original Nosferatu a few times. I really like the Klaus Kinski version. I've seen that a few times.
Oh, Klaus.
But I don't go back to it. I've seen it like 2-3 times in my whole life. And I've enjoyed it every time I watch it. The first time I watched it, I was like, well, this is weird. Nosferatu is always like a slow thing. This movie is slowly paced. And it's got some really great moments in it. But when I look at it and I say, I was hoping to walk out of this being my favorite movie.
Mm-hmm.
And instead I was like, I will revisit this. I enjoyed it. It's a more accessible version of Nosferatu for, the masses.
Than the silent film that we all loved when we watched.
And, nobody's going back and watching the 1979 one from,
I've never seen it.
Nope.
It's good, but it's, it's not something that your friends, if you go to the bar, hey, you guys want to watch the 1979 Nosferatu?
I nodded off 3 times.
You talking about Kinski's?
Yeah, the Kinski one. Like,
Yeah.
this
man,
is bringing Nosferatu to the masses. And,
Yeah, that's
it's
a
gonna
great movie.
So I was happy with that. I had a few problems with it that made me not love it. And part of it, Hunter, what you're saying, I get it. I've seen the Nosferatu story, and this version wasn't that different to make me go, oh, wow, this is so much different. This was just like a fresh coat of paint, some interesting things. So a lot to like about this movie, but not enough to keep it, not enough to elevate it higher on my list.
Wow.
This blows my mind.
Yeah, look at this. We're learning things tonight, folks.
I was just wondering if this is 1 or 2, legitimately for you.
I
Yeah, me
figured he'd
too.
make it 2.
I
thought
think
it
I
would
have
be
an
okay.
idea what his 1 is, but we'll see. I thought it could have been this, though. All right. Hunter.
All right, number 8 is a surprise for the first one and the second one. Smile 2.
Wow.
It made the top 10. It leapfrogged over Nosferatu. I was torn between where I put it, this and Mads. I didn't know, but I'm like, whatever. I had a ball watching this movie. I thought, what was the name of the lead actress in this? I can't remember her name.
Naomi
Can't
something.
remember.
Yeah, she was captivating. She was
Great
so good
performance
in
by
this
her.
movie. Because this, once you get past the absolutely bonkers beginning, which was A++, then it's hers. It's her movie, and it's her close to the face the entire friggin' movie, and I think she killed it. And I like how it set up a potential sequel with huge implications if they go with it. So the Smile franchise, who knew? The movie, the first, which I was like, I wouldn't watch that on a bet. I enjoyed the first one, and I think I like the second one even better. So crazy town.
Wow.
This almost made my list. It got bumped because, again, the last act, what happens, the revelation really chapped my ass. But I'll say it again. The fact that a studio is making an interesting horror movie series is unbelievable. But you
left it off your list.
This movie for me is indicative of a lot of movies this year. It was way better than I expected it to be. It's not on my list. But for a studio, a wide release movie, it's better than I thought it was going to be. But there's a lot of movies that I went and enjoyed, but they're just not on the list. But
yeah,
I was happy to get. They were like, walked out. Oh yeah, that was good. I'm a horror fan, and I enjoyed watching that movie. So I'm perfectly happy with having seen that movie. It just didn't register as far as something like you were saying, something to make your list. I've got to recommend it to somebody or want to buy it, or it's really got to stick with me. With that one, I just feel like, oh yeah, you should see it. But
if I was a 15-year-old, this is the kind of shit that would get me into horror movies, though. Smile 1 and 2 at that age.
Yeah,
I'd be like, oh my god, amazing.
Sure.
All right, Chet, hit us with two.
Number 8 is Mads.
Hey.
Now, I like this movie,
Mad.
but what moved it up on the list for me is the interview that I read. So if that's not true and he's lying, then but he did say there are movies that they make it look like in the interview anyway. He said that there are movies out there that they try to make it look like, it's one take and that's cool, but I wanted to make sure that I did it for real. And so we did 5 takes. Almost got it the 4th, finally nailed it in the 5th. And he's got hours and hours of, this. He's got everything on GoPro, and he's hoping to release it. I don't know if on a DVD package, so if people want to see for themselves how this thing was filmed, then they can check it out. He talked about the hardest part to film. So I'm just going to give him the benefit of the doubt and trust the guy. Because I think like everybody here, we want to believe that this was done like this, and so I'm just gonna believe him. But yeah, and because of that, it made number 8 on my list. Great movie. I really love that ending. It was kind of tragically romantic with the ash and the embers falling as the world is just ending. It was cool, man.
Hell.
Spoiler alert: embers and ashes at the end.
You ruined the whole goddamn movie, Chad.
Sorry.
The world ending in a zombie movie. Nobody could predict that.
I'm triggered by embers.
All right. What the hell? Why can't I remember the number? 8?
8.
Mine is Nosferatu.
All right.
If it was purely based on filmmaking, this would probably be number 1 or number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, this is a story I have seen God knows how many times. I always knew that Nosferatu was a horrible ripoff of Dracula, and that's why all the film was to be destroyed. That whole thing, and it was a lost film for decades. I think I watched this in college, or maybe I only watched certain scenes of it in a class or something. But it's wild when you watch this. If you've read Dracula and you're watching this movie, you're like, this is a goddamn beat-for-beat ripoff. No wonder
amazing.
They got sued into oblivion.
Mm-hmm.
So, unfortunately, once I remembered that, and I was like, oh yeah, this is Dracula. And I kept waiting, where does the story change? It doesn't. It's Dracula. So I was just like,
The ending changes.
yeah, but
Kind of.
kind of. I mean, the location, I guess, but it's like, it's still kind of the
Let's
same.
do it as a main feature next week, and we can discuss.
Hey, that's good. Then we don't have to go out and watch anything else.
It just incredibly well made. I was enjoying it the entire time I was in the theater, but I had absolutely zero freaking tension while watching it. Like, oh, who's gonna make it? Who's not gonna make it? There was none of that. Like,
Yeah.
none of that for me.
Yeah, I was hoping there would be a different take on the same old story.
Exactly. I was hoping they'd make some
they did it.
changes. And so, incredible film, incredible filmmaking. If you know anything about Dracula, it is exactly, the story is going to be exactly what you expect it to be, which pulls it down the list for me. Still great. I still recommend people see it, but could have been one or two. If I would have had just no clue what was going to happen at the end, like this would have been a home run easily. I mean,
If you're creeped out by rats, it's going to get you. If rats freak you out, this is not your movie.
couple rats.
The 1979 version's got some great rat stuff in it.
Like a rat in a trap.
Really selling that version to me. I need to see that.
It's
really
yeah,
good.
it's known for its gorgeous.
It's Werner
cinematography.
Herzog. You got to see it.
Yeah.
That's a blind spot. I don't know how I never got around
Klaus
to it.
Kinski, Nosferatu. I mean, come on,
Herzog, Kinski, they were mad.
it's beautiful too, man. It really is a gorgeous movie.
So Nosferatu's 3 for 3 then on gorgeous movies.
Spoiler alert,
Yeah.
it's a very similar story to what you've seen already.
Oh, damn.
There is a little bit of a change, but it's very little.
Not enough.
Dude, the balls to rip off Dracula the way they did in the original movie is wild.
That's kind of cool.
Shameless.
I think there were only
Absolutely
7
shameless.
lawyers in the country at the time, so they could do it.
No one will know.
It's fine.
All right, Chet.
Number 7, or is it Chad's
Si,
turn? What's-
siete. It's your turn, Jack.
My turn, number 7. Well, we've already talked about it, but I'll bring it up. I believe I introduced this movie to you guys. Red Rooms. This movie, when I first made my list, it was lower on the list, and I kept looking at it and going, you know, when I keep thinking about this movie,
Same.
and if I'm talking to people, that movie comes up, and I'm like, oh my God, you got to see that movie. That movie has a gut punch to it. There's a shocking value to it, like that you don't get from a whole lot of movies. And crazy ass performance from that woman.
Yep. And the girl who played her
Yeah, her sidekick,
companion
or
or whatever.
But and then just the dark stuff that happens at the end of that movie. I love that movie. So for me, I wanted to make sure that this was on there. And as I compared to Nosferatu, I'm a big vampire guy, but when thinking about this year, that's the movie. That's going to be one of the movies that I'm like, oh my God! If somebody comes up to you and says, "Hey, give me a horror movie I've never heard of," give me a deep cut or whatever, that's going to be like in my pocket for like, oh, you should watch this. You want something?
Yeah, you're gonna have to ask for a deep cut. I'm not gonna whip that one out casually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless
Are
you've
you
been
okay
to
with
a-
French subtitles and movies where a woman spends most of it on a computer?
Have you
I
ever been
got the
to a
movie
Diddy
for
White
you.
party? You'll like Red Rooms.
Have you seen Dracula? Oh, you have. Don't watch Nosferatu then. Watch this obscure French film.
By the way, when I went to the theater today at 12:30, it was packed.
Today.
Today is Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday. Yeah, that's Senior Citizen Discount Day.
It was for everybody. It's $6
Oh.
for everybody here. So I was like,
Oh,
holy cow. I didn't know that. And I'm like,
Dang,
I'm
man.
surrounded by the Shady Pines retirement home.
I normally go on Mondays and there's nobody there. I went on Tuesday once in like October and I was like, what the hell, dude? There are so many people here.
Yeah, I was looking forward to not have people around me, but
Monday.
whatever.
Monday's the day.
Now I know. All right, so my number 7 is, now this movie, if I look at this list in 2 days, it's going to be somewhere else on my list, guaranteed. It is Late Night with the Devil. Again, crazy hype. Figured there's no way it can live up to that hype. It didn't, but it did enough where I watched it 3 times this year. I still don't know why. I enjoyed. I grew up, watching Johnny Carson and loving late night TV before it became the garbage that it is now. So I enjoyed you having the hypnotist on. You have the weirdos. It used to be like a star and some weirdos, and Brother Theodore would come out. So I enjoyed like the kind of wackiness of that, and I'd like the '70s setting. I mean, I grew up in the '70s. Um, Dream of my own, and really flowered in the '80s. But it's a cool movie. Uh, really can't say anything bad about it. Uh, yeah, it's 7 today. It might be 10 tomorrow. Maybe I'll flip it with long a night. It's number 7. It's worth mentioning.
Yeah, I agree. Chad?
Number 7. Jason says this is not horror. Jack and I think it's at least horror adjacent. And that is It's What's Inside, which I've been trying to turn people onto. I can see the argument if you say it's not horror, but I don't know, man.
Wouldn't horror adjacent also mean it's not horror? Because it's adjacent?
It whistled past the horror block.
I think you can count it as a horror movie.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Fucking with you.
But intense movie that you absolutely cannot turn your brain off to. You have to play some the game of memory and remember what's going on. But the movie also really lends a helping hand with that. But still, cool concept, man. Pretty original and very, very cool. I don't know, Hunter, have you seen It's What's Inside?
I haven't. So where can I find it, by the way?
Netflix, I think. Yeah.
Netflix original.
I still have Netflix,
Yeah.
so I can watch it.
It's good. You'll get bodies vibes, but also totally different movie. But it definitely has those vibes. So yeah, man,
Cool.
It's What's Inside. My number 7.
I'm
Thumbs up
canceling
for me.
Netflix in next week, so I gotta cram it in.
You should definitely cram that in.
Yeah, I actually agree. Curious on your take. Shout out to everyone in the chat, by the way. Getting lots of good comments and recommendations. Missed you guys.
They are busy.
Yeah, appreciate everybody showing up. Alrighty, my number 7 is Immaculate, which
Good choice.
I have to set this up so everybody understand. Like, obviously, I like to be surprised in movies. I don't watch trailers. I don't like to know anything about it. That's why I don't like prequels. I know where this is going. That's why all these remakes, like Nosferatu, wasn't what I hoped because I knew where it was going. I went into Immaculate knowing nothing. I didn't even... I'm sure you guys had mentioned Sydney Sweeney being in it. Didn't remember that. When I'm buying my ticket, I saw a poster of... The poster was her dressed as a nun, and I was like, this is a nun movie? Like, I knew nothing. So it really helped just watching this movie, having absolutely no idea what I was sitting down to. No clue.
That's good.
And I thoroughly enjoyed it. And this is a movie that the intensity ramped for me, and the end is bonkers. They freaking go for it with the ending. I appreciated that. And that ending alone raised it up the list.
I loved the ending of that movie.
Yeah, that's one of the best endings of the year.
I do want to say this and The First Omen are like the same movie.
That's it's crazy.
The filmmaking in The First Omen is really good, and there are really good moments to it. But again, I knew the direction it was going, which pulled it down my list, but it is still worth watching, absolutely. But because I had no concept of what was going to happen in this movie, I was all in. Immaculate
First Omen, whether it's on your lists or not, when we're talking about great performances, you got Smile 2, you got Substance, you have to throw the girl from First Omen in best performances of the year.
Yeah, she was excellent. This was like on my honorable mention. It was almost on the list. It was painful not to put it on there. But
Jack,
by the way,
mentioned...
for you Catholic schoolboys, and if you ever like dreamt about naked nuns, this is the movie to watch, kids.
Uh-huh.
I don't think Sister Maria Regina is going to look that good, Give it a shot.
Jack, you had said about thinking about Red Rooms, raise it up your list. That was this for me. I expected it to come in like 10 or 12, something like that. And I just kept thinking about it all year. Like, man, that ending was ballsy. So,
yeah. And like, I almost put it on over Azrael. But for me, start to finish, I liked Azrael more. But I like the ending of Immaculate better than the ending of Azrael.
Brutal.
Yeah, good shit. What you got, Jack?
Oh, okay. Number 6, MaXXXine.
All right, that's solid.
This is another one, Jason. I'm with you. I had kind of fluctuated as to where I put it. I was trying to decide because out of the X trilogy, it would be third on my list for favorites of that. And I think the ending in the movie is a little weak, but the more I thought about it, the more I thought about how much I enjoyed the nostalgia and the ride, and there's the comedy in it, and
The music.
the music,
The
the vibe of it. And I was like,
Yeah.
and Mia Goth is just so great that I was like, yeah, you know what? This is going to be one of those ones that I'm gonna rewatch a number of times. And so I kept thinking, I'm like, I can't penalize it because of 2 other awesome movies that came before it. So I had to give it its due. And then when I started to think about some of the movies below it, I was like, yeah, no, because I love the whole vibe of this movie. And again, you can't talking about great performances. Mia Goth, she's 3 for 3. So
Oscar.
MaXXXine for me.
Get her an Oscar. And by the way, read the novelizations by our good friend Tin Moyer.
Yes.
That's right. I got to read that.
My number 6, I saw this movie in a drive-in in winter as I was freezing my nards off and still enjoyed every minute of it. It's Abigail. So this is my honor to Jack and all things vampire-y. Of the 2 big vampire movies that came out last year, I think this is way better. It's far more entertaining.
My prediction was this was your number 1.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, number
This
6.
didn't even make my list.
Wow,
This didn't
it
make your list? Really?
Oh, you'll see.
We're all getting blown away tonight.
It was early on my list, and then I saw it again, and man, it did not hold up for some reason.
I've seen this one twice, and I enjoyed both times.
Wow.
It's kind of like if Hit Girl was a vampire.
Yes, that's a great way to put it. It's a perfect.
Yeah,
lot of
I
fun.
really like that.
Good cast of scumbags and goofy people. Good gore. It was just a fun time at the movies, man. Sometimes it's all you need. And this was it.
It's true. Chet?
Oh, what are we at? Number 6?
6C.
Yep.
Okay. My number 6 is Oddity. Was super
makes
excited
sense.
to see this because I loved Caveat, and so I had high hopes for Oddity. Really well written. We talked about the beginning being really intense, but then it just the movie gets deeper and deeper as far as what happened in the storyline. Kind of some genius writing there, and it was just really well executed. It's definitely should be on everybody's, I would think, everybody's top 10 list, but it's kind of sucks hearing you guys we went through this last year, maybe the year before too. But I remember last year you guys all loved Godzilla, and I hadn't seen it. So you guys are like, my number 1's Godzilla, and
That was my one.
that was same thing with MaXXXine and Immaculate. I haven't seen either one, so it kind of sucks. And Godzilla definitely would have been on my list for sure. Because
That movie's so
Not
good.
only
yeah.
haven't you seen them, you have to listen to us hype them up. So when you finally see them, you're like, it was fine.
yeah, right,
Jerks.
exactly. Yeah,
So maybe your New
So-
Year's resolution is to watch more of the movies.
That's right.
Well, I mean, if they would make more current movies take place in the 1970s, I'd get more excited.
We gotta
Anyway.
pull you out of the time capsule, man.
Oddity, great movie. Everybody should see it.
Solid choice.
By the way, the Caveat Bunny makes an appearance in Oddity.
Oh yeah.
True that.
Was that the Caveat, and what was the other one that guy did, or was it just Caveat? I was thinking stop motion, but that was someone else, right?
Yeah,
That was
it
somebody
was
else.
just Caveat.
Yeah, okay. All right, my number 6 is Azrael. This is a movie that I freaking loved. I loved the style. I thought the casting was perfect because that woman has some of the most expressive eyes of any actress. And if you have to have a woman who can't speak through a whole movie, that's who you cast.
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like this is something I honestly would write. Just a crazy cult in the woods doing insane shit, and the ending ramps. And this surprised the hell out of me. And I really liked it when I watched it, and it's one of those that I've thought about more and more, and it moved it up the list. And that is number 6,
Wow.
Asriel.
Hey, if you write that, can Chad and I be beta readers and then talk about a lot of religious undertones and overtones and piss you off?
I would really appreciate all of your notes being about the accuracy.
You're never reading my shit again, jerks.
Number 5,
C.
it's Abigail.
Oh,
Hey!
You lied.
I lied.
Oh, you are such a
I was like, what the
Let me preface this by saying
Bigfoot
Nosferatu was my 25th vampire movie of the year.
It's just crazy.
Dang, dude.
That's crazy.
But Abigail was my number 1 vampire movie of the year. And when watching Abigail a second time on Peacock, I liked it even more. Which I was wondering, because there was a little point in that movie when I saw it the first time that I felt like it was dragging a little bit. That the second time I watched it, maybe the pressure is off the movie because I'm home and I can get a drink. I can blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
This is an immensely rewatchable movie that's got a scary vampire. It's also funny. It's got that Ready or Not vibe to it.
Yes.
So it's got claws and a smile. Everything I like in a vampire movie, this is the kind of thing. I loved it. Little girl is so great in this movie. And the nincompoops that are trapped in the house with her are very funny. And what's her name from Lisa Frankenstein? That girl, she's great in that movie too.
Yeah. It's a fun movie, man. You don't get many fun horror movies.
Yeah, that movie's a blast. It's one of the ones I watched more than once.
Yep.
And, like I said, solidified where I was going to put it in my list.
I feel like that might be the most rewatchable horror movie I've seen this year. Which is funny because Chad didn't like it as much on the rewatch.
yeah.
And I'm like, I feel like that's the one I could just put on and just watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Number 5. Now we're getting to the movies that I would like to own physical copies. This one, he suggested this movie, Strange Darling. I thought this movie was crazy, absolutely crazy. This was like, I guess if Quentin Tarantino had to do a movie without bare feet and and without Samuel Jackson and stuff, this would be kind of it had his stamp on it.
That was good.
It's wild. Ed Begley Jr. in a horror movie is just out of bounds.
It's like a movie in the vein of Quentin Tarantino that's not ripping him off.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, because it's its own thing. And for all like the crazy violence that goes on in this movie, the whole hotel thing, from sitting in the car to getting into the hotel, and you were like, if you're doing the point of view of the guy, you're having sex with this woman who is so bipolar, you don't know whether to like get saltpeter or Viagra, and but you're gonna muscle your way through, man, because it's Saturday night. I thought everything about this movie was just excellent. I can't. This is the movie I've been telling people to watch when they're like, "What have you seen that it's not like mainstream?" I'm like, Strange Darling.
Yeah.
So number 5 with a bullet in your gut.
Nice.
Solid.
What you got?
I'm up. Number 5, correct? Okay.
Steve.
My number 5, I don't think you guys are going to have, but that is Daddy's Head. Really like this movie a lot.
Our least popular episode of the year.
Is it really?
Yeah, I looked at the numbers.
Strange given the title.
You'd think we would just get some porn looky-loos.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe we should have put Stepdaddy's Head. I don't know.
Well, let's put the blame where it belongs, on the thumbnail, which is created by Sheridan. Clearly, it's all his fault.
Son of a bitch, Sheridan. Thanks.
We'll drink to that.
Just absolutely ruining the show.
Dragging us down.
So,
Just
Daddy's
free
Head.
work.
It was funny the discussion that we had in the things that came out, like Hunter not realizing what kind of movie this was. That was pretty great.
Yeah.
I love this movie. Just the atmosphere, the acting is great. Man, it had some legitimately really creepy scenes in here, and just a completely different take on aliens and I don't know.
If I only knew
just,
that, I would have liked it more.
It's great. I love that. I just love the look of this thing and the speed of it. Yeah, great movie. And I saw it, a second time, but I sped through it just so I could, because it had been a couple weeks and I wanted to really familiarize myself. And it just reminded me what a great movie it is. So high on my list at number 5, Daddy's Head.
I'm going to revisit this movie now.
One of my favorite moments of the year was that revelation.
The guy that gets a boner every time somebody mentions Alien, watches an Alien movie and doesn't realize it's an Alien movie.
Half the books behind me are about UFOs and aliens. It's how I didn't get it is beyond me.
It's like, what the hell did you think the flashing lights outside the house were?
Look, in my defense, I have been recovering from a near-death experience, so I'm just going to say synapses weren't all working yet.
That's just so, of all the people to not see the UFO, the alien thing.
Yeah, that was sad.
All right, my number 5 was Longlegs. Another one I went into not knowing shit. Like I said, I forgot Nicolas Cage was in the freaking movie. I recognized him by his voice, which was interesting. And I really like this, man. It's a slow burn. Yeah. Oz Perkins movies can be hit or miss for me. What was the Gretel and Hansel? Like, that did not land for me.
I didn't like that movie.
At all.
I went out. I fell out snoring in the movie theater when I saw that movie.
All the Pretty Things in the House or something like that it was called.
Yeah, I didn't care for that one.
That didn't hit for me either. This one just really sunk in with me. I loved the performances, the weird characters I was into, Micah Monroe, all that. It all worked for me. This honestly ended up being way higher up my list than I expected. It's another one of those that I was thinking about. Really dug the ending too. It's just it's a wild movie. If we got more theatrical horror like this, I'd be very, very happy because this is weird.
I saw that in a packed theater at night, and it was silence when the movie was over. I think people walked out just not knowing how to handle it.
I believe it. This is a weird movie. It's strange.
Oh, yeah.
Made a lot of money, though.
I think this is for idiots like us.
Yeah.
Number 4?
Yeah.
Probably Jason's number 1, Werewolves for me. What a freaking great
genius film. Watched it last night.
I'm just kidding. It's Heretics. Heretic with Hugh Grant is such a great movie that is dialogue driven, conversations. The end of the movie where there's more action, I don't like as much as the conversation portion. The first 2/3 of this movie builds this dread and the game that's going on, and how they don't just portray the girls as dumb, bad religious people.
Right.
They have value and wit and everything like that. Just, this is such a good movie, and Hugh Grant is so great in it. And it's such great writing that I again just walked out just like I had no idea what to expect in that movie. And it's another one of those ones I can't recommend it fast enough to people.
Yeah.
Interesting. This was my number 1 for you. I thought this was going to be your number 1 movie.
We're fooling Jason left and right.
Yeah, you guys are throwing curveballs at me.
I never thought I'd get a boner like listening to someone talk about Monopoly. I thought that was brilliant. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Gotta look at that game the same way again.
I didn't, but then I popped a Viagra, and sure enough,
doink.
I got out of jail free, if you know what I mean.
Oh my gosh. Free parking, everybody.
Boardwalk.
Oh, speaking of Viagra, my number 4 is Immaculate.
Wow.
Man, I love this movie. It's well, for one reason, but then it's the best ending I've
Two
seen.
reasons.
I'm going to say two reasons. I should say it's the best movie, best ending of the year, but maybe the best ending in years. And her primal scream is amazing. But I'm just, I grew up a Catholic, so I love these religious movies. Unless you're freaking riding a Vespa around Europe, then no, I'm out.
Laurel totally ruined that for me. When she said he drives it across Europe, I was like, holy shit, he did.
Poor Vespa. No Vespa could survive Russell Crowe driving it all that distance.
It's a horror movie for Vespas.
It is, but I think Immaculate is great, and it's so much like this is how good the first Omen is, because that came out right after. So Immaculate's already given you the entire movie, and they still pull off the first Omen, which is crazy. But I like how Immaculate is a contained story. Like when it's over, it's over. Like the other Omen movie that's leading to other things some other time. Sydney Sweeney, I really didn't think she could act before this movie, and I'm like, oh no, I was absolutely wrong. She's actually pretty good. And it was gory and weird and dig it, man.
Didn't she produce it too?
She did.
You did.
So if somebody wants to buy me a copy and send it, I'm down.
Beautiful. What you got, Chet?
This is definitely not on anyone else's list.
We're
mine.
sure.
At number 4, even.
This is that
And
YouTube
that is
thing.
That is What You Wish For with what's his name?
I thought this was going to be your number one.
Oh, the guy with the
Nick.
cook.
The
yeah.
cook,
Oh.
yeah.
Nick Stahl.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember the name of this.
Yes.
But I was going to write down what I thought everybody's was, and I didn't. But this one, I couldn't think of the name of this one. That's what I thought.
Very enjoyable movie. I was confused when we covered it at some of the hate it was getting. I still don't get that.
Some of the hate by one person.
Yeah.
That was so stupid. But in my opinion,
I like
movie.
nothing.
I love Nick Stahl. It's good to see him, doing some movies. I like it when he's on the screen. That What Josiah Saw, he was in that too. Just so good. And yeah, man, What You Wish For. Definitely recommend it. It's got some intense stuff. Don't listen to Hunter. It's a great movie.
No, don't listen to me. Watch more horror. I don't.
It
care
belongs
whether
on a top
it's
10
or
list
not.
of the year for sure. Well done.
But that's okay.
I had forgotten about this, to be honest. I mean, I saw it today when I was looking at movies we watched.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that one. That's a good choice. Alrighty, my number 4, I guarantee, is not on any of your lists. That is Significant Other, the Micah Monroe movie in the woods,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
where she is out with
Is
her
that
fiance.
this year?
Number 4?
I think it may have been like in festivals last year, but it was this year.
Oh, all right. I'll let it go.
Unless I've lost my mind. Was that
No,
not?
I think
I think
lost
you're
your
right.
mind.
I
pretty sure.
saw it in 2023.
Chat, help us out.
Yeah.
I'm going for it as if it is this
'Cause
year.
that was a Paramount Plus movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was last year.
I like that movie a lot, man.
Yeah.
Well, you guys know Jason breaks these rules every year.
Yes,
True.
I know
Always
he's going to
not.
whip out a book next.
Yes,
this
we're gonna whip out a
2023?
book and a
Really?
video game.
I am pretty
All right.
sure.
Well, if it's this year, I love this movie. I love the writing of this movie. A film with two people in the woods, and it's entertaining and mysterious, is incredible. I loved it. No, this didn't come out 2022. No way.
Yeah.
Maybe it was made in 2022.
Or maybe it released in, I don't know, one theater.
It's
in
definitely not
Copenhagen.
2024.
Okay, well, if it's not, then my what I do last? Longlegs is my number 4.
No, we'll accept it. Maybe it's close enough. Maybe it's 2024 adjacent. Keep it there.
Everybody gets a mulligan. You're good.
So yeah. Anyway, I loved it so much last year that it made this year's list.
Colin
There
says
you
my
go.
number 3 is Jaws. My number 3 is a 1979 Nosferatu. Oh, I'm up. What number?
You're
are we
up,
at?
man. Number three.
3.
Pan's Labyrinth.
Long Legs, baby.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot about that.
Another movie I watched twice. I saw that in the theater the first time, and me and my buddy looked at each other like, what the hell did we just watch?
Yeah.
People have to stop comparing this and saying, oh, it's like Silence of the Lambs.
No,
it is only
not.
like Silence of the Lambs in that there is a young female FBI agent. And then it's nothing like Silence of the Lambs.
Yep.
It's supernatural. It's
That
But
never
that
even
got a lot
occurred to me.
it's
That got a lot of people to the theater. That was done
It
on
did.
purpose.
But even now, like I'm podcasts I listen to stuff, people are saying like, I get it that there's a slight vibe to it, but when I watched it the second time, it reinforced stuff that this movie's just so weird. And I don't, without getting too much into the spoilery stuff, but the more weird and supernatural it got, like you had to go back and think about what happened and what was going on in the whole grand scheme. And then that whole last act just goes bonkers. Alicia Witt is so great in it.
Oh.
And it kind of leaves you like with your mouth dropped. Nicolas Cage is so whacked in it that again, this is one of those ones I was like earlier, let's say November, September. I was like, where's Longlegs going to be? And then, like I said, I saw it again and everything. And I was like, yeah, I really like this movie. This is another rewatchable for me. So, and I love how it ends with the T-Rex Bangagon.
I can't lose with that.
Yeah, it looks like my movie came out 2022. I guess because we did a main feature on it this year, I was thinking it was this year. I didn't look it up, clearly. I'm an idiot, so my number 4 was Longlegs.
Well, my number
you go.
3 is the Jennifer Lawrence movie Mother.
My number 1's going to be
Number
The
one.
Thing. Just telling you.
So controversial. My number 3 movie was actually what I thought was going to be my number 1 movie from the moment I saw it, which was Ty West's MaXXXine. Absolutely loved this trilogy. I think Mia Goth, man, she deserves all the accolades for what she's done with these 3 movies. And plus the 80s soundtrack, man. You throw in some Animotion, you got me, man. Because I loved Animotion back in the day. I love that vibe. Kind of wish I grew up on the West Coast. Because although I don't know, I like the grime and like the sleaze of that. But then I'm like, but I used to go to Times Square in New York City when I was like 15, and that's where I touched a rock titty. So maybe I didn't miss much by not growing up on the West Coast.
Oh, Rock Titty.
Oh, rock titty. Wonder where she is now.
Oh, she's dead.
Probably, but the titty's still around, I'm sure. This is like new. It's not as. It's funny. Jack, you said this is your third favorite of the 3. I would pick this over Pearl. X is still my favorite. I would pick this over Pearl. I think maybe just for the grittiness and watching a guy's nuts get stomped. I thought that was kind of awesome.
I think Pearl is better made, but I would rewatch MaXXXine before Pearl.
Exactly. Pearl before Swine, or is it Swines before Pearls? Or but I don't know.
Either way, I like X head and shoulders above the other 2.
Yeah. But man, what a solid trilogy to get.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a gift from Ty West, who hadn't done anything in the movies for quite some time. So
Yeah.
nice accomplishment.
It really is. To do a story this way in theaters for horror, practical effects, the whole shebang, like,
Yeah.
good stuff.
So Peter Polk, if you want to come back on Final Guys and talk about the next thing,
Hell yeah. That was,
doors open.
yeah, I agree. We should do that again. We haven't had anybody on here in a long time. We should
It's been a while.
try to do that. All right, Chad, what do you got?
Okay, my number 3 is Demi Moore's About Last Night with Rob Lowe.
Oh, tits and ass.
That was this year, right? It's
so.
The Substance, man. It has a lot of the cool, like Requiem for a Dream, fast editing. I don't know what it's called. There's a term. I don't know what it's called, but that's in there. And then Dead Alive comes in.
Oh, so much
And,
that ending.
Yeah, I liked that. I mean, I know it feels like just I can see a normie going, what is this, and walking out or just hating it altogether. But I feel like somebody, I don't know, Jason. I feel like somebody who loves Psycho Gorman, and I know that Psycho Gorman sets it up from the beginning, and it stays that way. But I feel like somebody who likes that can appreciate the end of The Substance as well.
Nope.
All right.
Turns
All right.
out, no.
Too funny.
Okay. Well, I did. I loved everything about it. I watched I was watching a reaction to it recently online. I usually don't watch full reactions. I do watch Jason's So Bad It's Good channel from time to time, but I usually don't watch movie reactions. And this one I stuck through because I was with my wife and she hadn't seen The Substance, so we watched it. It was a long reaction, so she got to see it too. She enjoyed it, and it was funny to see the look on her face when things got out of control. And I think she rolled her eyes a little bit, but still thought it was good. It was great to see her Demi win a award and all that. So kudos to her and the people who made this movie. Outlandish. I can't believe she would win an award for a movie like this. It's crazy. What is this world coming to? So,
And by the way,
she
if
did
you
a
could
killer
ever-
job.
I hope that this and Nosferatu and maybe Hugh Grant for Heretic, I'd love to infiltrate the Academy Awards with some of these movies, you know, and this one seems like the best chance to get some representation in that.
And it's weird because we just had Hereditary, a handful of years ago, and nothing. I don't know how.
It's because the Academy Awards are bullshit.
That's
They're
true.
worthless.
They are
have
worthless
Zero value
bullshit.
to society.
Yeah.
Having said that, if I won one, I would go and get it.
Yeah. They're not
They're
quite as bad
bullshit.
as the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is loaded with LL Cool J and Madonna and stuff. And
Ugh.
but yeah, so number 3 for me is The Substance.
Nice.
I can't wait to hear what Jason has right now.
Well, from 1992,
Steven Seagal.
what are we at? 2? I can't
No,
see
3.
it.
Three.
3. Word is being insane. I can't. Oh, Strange Darling is my number 3, which is interesting because about 10 minutes into this, I was out. I was like, this is pretentious bullshit. You're telling me it's shot on film. You're giving me the axe or whatever crap you're doing. It's like, dude, fuck this director. Like, like these are the kinds of people I cannot stand. And then I'm watching, I'm like, oh no, never mind. Everything he's doing totally works. I love this director. He's the greatest director.
I was wrong.
But honestly, at the beginning, I was like, oh, this is going to be pretentious crap. And there's nothing. Like, I like Tarantino, but occasionally he starts going on, and I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
like, dude, like, you put feet in your movies. Relax. Like,
Exactly.
Simmer down now. Simmer.
like calm down. And I thought that's where this was going. I was wrong. I'm having trouble remembering the actor's name. Is it Kyle Gallner?
Yeah, yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
I can't even remember his name. I'm about to say he's one of my favorite actors right now. Maybe my favorite actor in horror. The dude is crushing. What was the other movie where he was working at the fast food place?
Passenger.
What?
The Passenger.
I mean, watch this and watch Passenger and tell me this guy is not crushing right now.
We got to get you a poster of him for your wall.
And also, I need the director's signature. Honestly, this really shocked me. And this is another one that I have thought about, particularly the hotel scene.
Yeah.
The way that is edited out of order, which is something that can be hit or miss for me, totally works. It ratchets up the tension. I keep talking about him. The actress absolutely crushed in this too. She is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I loved this movie, and I will recommend this to everyone. I cannot believe it made it as high up my list as it did.
A movie we knew nothing about. There's
Nothing.
no buzz whatsoever.
I wish I could remember what I said to my wife when it said the shot on 35 millimeter. I was like, oh Jesus, like here we go.
I saw this and had to come back and try and tell you guys to see this, but not tell you anything about it. That was so hard.
Thank God you didn't.
Yeah, thank God. Came out of nowhere. Great movie. Strange Darling.
Right. Number 2 for me is what I consider probably the scariest and creepiest movie of the year. and that's Oddity.
Wow.
That-
High up there.
That blows
Never
my
would have
mind.
called that in a million years.
No.
This movie's awesome.
It is.
When you didn't have it in your bottom 6, I thought it wasn't going to make your list. That's awesome.
No, because I prefer this kind of stuff. This is so creepy. This felt like a Hammer movie. You
Yeah,
know,
it did have that vibe.
with-
You're right.
Interesting.
but higher quality.
Less boredom.
Less boobs.
I honestly
More or
thought there
less.
was some real terrifying moments in this movie, and some really well done stuff. The stuff with like the photographs, everything. Like I said, tell me another movie that was scarier than this. Like I think this was the scariest movie of the year.
Werewolves.
Werewolves, probably.
Significant other.
Fair. Yeah,
God damn it. Being an idiot is a burden sometimes, I got to tell you.
It's
This is
heavy as
another
the head
one.
who wears the crown.
heavy as the head. Yeah, this is another one that I delight in telling people who haven't seen it. I'm like, oh my god, you haven't seen Oddity? Right now, it's on Shudder. Go watch it. Don't watch any trailers or anything like that. Just go in and watch it. And another tremendous performance. That woman played sisters, and I
Yes.
didn't even realize it was the same person for most of the movie.
I'm the same way.
Same.
And after a while, I'm like, I think that's the same lady. That I have to get my phone going. Check it out.
Yeah, so big thumbs up for me on Oddity.
Wow. Awesome. I like seeing a small movie like that get so high up the list.
Yeah. All right, well, I mean, my number 2 is a small movie, The Substance. This is the first movie I've seen in years where the moment I walked out of the theater, I had to call a lifeline, and that was Jack. I was like, I need to talk about this. I need somebody to sound things off on. I need to ground myself again.
Yeah.
That this movie got made and put in theaters and now is getting accolades and awards. Mind-blowing. Absolutely
Totally.
mind-blowing. And like I said, I don't think Demi Moore's ever been really particularly good in anything she's done. But man,
Hold on a minute.
Whoa.
what are you gonna say? Striptease?
Yancey.
We just got $100.
What?
Yancey
fancy
Street
Yancey.
coming
Yancey.
in hot.
Wow.
Good.
Jason just got
Thanks.
$100.
Yeah, Jason just got $100.
Yancey
Five-
Street says, thank you guys for all you do. Buy some halfway decent booze, and I look forward to seeing your reviews in 2025.
Oh,
Thanks,
thank you, man.
That means a lot. That's crazy generous.
And by the way,
Very,
this was
very.
going to be our last episode, but I guess we got to keep going now.
I'm going to take the money and run.
It's pressure.
Thanks, man. That's very
Very
generous.
kind.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think the
Wow.
one person who regrets they didn't make this movie is Seymour Butts. Remember that guy from the old 90s porn days? Demi Moore's amazing. If you ever look at a roasted chicken the same way again, you're numb. You're dead inside
Yeah.
because I
Margaret
can't.
Qualley also deserves a lot of props. She's
Yeah, Demi Moore's getting everything, but I think Quayle was in probably more of the movie than
Yeah.
Demi Moore.
I mean, Demi Moore was super naked, and she's in her 60s. That's why she's getting.
yeah,
I mean, it's a
She
very
was just-
courageous.
She was really
performance.
good, man. She was just she acted really, really well in this. Especially
That's-
that scene where she keeps going back to her makeup. when
I
she's
was going to
go
say
on
when
that
she's
date.
trying to get ready to go out on that
Yeah.
date and the makeup thing.
I'm not taking anything away from her. I just if you swap them in their ages, I feel like the other, what's the other one's name?
Margaret Qualley.
I think she'd be getting all the accolades. I think they both killed it. Honestly,
And let's not forget Dennis Quaid, who was the
Oh.
smarmy.
Oh, he's
my
perfect.
Lord.
the grossest scene all year is that man eating shrimp.
Him eating. Oh,
Yes.
and I appreciated the whole Gwar dead alive batshit ending. I was like, all right, man, I've been in all the way with this. So number 2, easily, and I can't wait to show my wife this movie and she'll probably divorce me. But whatever.
Dude, I saw this in the theater with all old people. This is the one I saw on Tuesday. And I was like, there's no way they're liking this.
No, not a chance.
All right, Chad, what we got?
These next two, number 2 and number 1, could maybe be interchangeable. They're both just fantastic. But last year, this dude's The Passenger movie made my number 1. It was last year, I think, wasn't it? That movie just blew me away, and his movie Strange Darling, which we were just talking about, equally blew me away. We just said a bunch of cool stuff about this movie, so I won't like really reiterate it, but right up my alley, this kind of thing. And unpredictable. The way that it was written was fantastic. That could have been real bad, but it wasn't. It was perfect the way it was written, out of order like that. And man, everybody was just fantastic. So good.
Yeah.
I
Jack,
love
did you have this
movie.
on your list tonight?
He might.
You said to me?
Yeah, did you have it on your list?
No, I didn't make my list.
Wow.
He's lying. It's coming up.
He's the one who instigated
he
us
is
to
lying.
watch this. Jack's such a liar.
This is on everybody's list. It has to be. Strange Darling.
Wrong, but
Strange Darling is my number 2.
Okay. Alrighty, my number 2 is my most rewatchable movie of the year. That is Abigail. This is probably the most normie-friendly movie on my list.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You can just throw it on, and it's a vampire kid killing a bunch of assholes. Done by the guys that did
Ready or Not.
Ready or Not, thank
Ready
you.
or Not.
The Radio Silence guys, who there's just something about their style that clicks with me. I don't know
me
what
too.
it is. They blend action and visuals very well. I like all the actors. I like the characters. I like the setup. I was in. Again, this felt like something that I wish I had the idea for a book. Is a vampire kid tricking everybody and killing everybody. Like, it's just fun. And I feel like of all the movies I'm talking about tonight, 10 years from now, this will probably be the one I've watched the most.
Yeah.
It's just, it's fun. So
Does she remind you of a Vladdy?
Yes.
I think you had a little connection there. That
What is a Vladdy? What is writing?
it's been a long time since I've read anything with Vladdies in it, but I recall they were similar.
She did. A child Vladdy. You are correct.
Yep.
All right, Jack.
Number
It's
one,
time.
everybody.
Number 1 for me is the movie that proved that Hunter Shea has lost his mojo and has no backbone anymore. It's The Coffee Table.
Oh.
Wait, are you
What?
for real?
Nope, it's Strange Darling.
What?
But I'll stand by my comments about Hunter losing his nerve.
That's not losing my nerve. That movie was a piece of shit. Jerks.
Sold
making it.
out. You're a sellout.
Go kill a baby.
I saw this movie. I told you guys about it. I take credit for the whole thing.
Thank you,
This
Jack.
is my movie.
You basically made it.
Yeah.
Totally. All credit goes to you.
I went and saw this in the theater. There was hardly anybody in the theater. I was watching it. The opening panel with the announcement is like, what is going on? A brilliant use of non-linear storytelling really makes the movie. Great performances, unforgettable. The hidden gem of the year, and the movie I had the most fun watching. And I hope that if anybody hasn't seen this movie and watches this show, you've gotten the point and go watch this immediately. But don't listen to anything. Don't watch previews or anything. Go in as blind as you can and enjoy the ride. This was my favorite movie of the year.
Man.
Great choice, Jack. Yeah.
I would not have predicted this.
If you do
No,
a
me
weighted
neither.
average, this might be the top movie for the show.
Maybe.
Crazy.
Maybe.
Worth it, though. Earned it.
Jack finds those nasty, sexy, gritty things like Strange Darling and Candyland. He tells us about 'em.
Candyland was so much fun.
Yeah, that was
Can't this is a grimy movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. My number 1 was Heretic.
I knew it.
I think it was by far the best written movie of the year. The dialogue and just the intelligence behind it. But the fact that you get old Mickey Blue Eyes to take on this role at this stage in his life and career, it makes you realize we possibly have missed out on a lot of great stuff from Hugh Grant. Like if he just took more swings like this. Because to me, he was always the least intimidating guy I'd ever seen. And he scared the living crap out of me in this movie. I love the two girls. I think they were great. Like Jack, I think you said it. They're not just portrayed as just some religious dummies who don't know what they're talking about and stuff. But the building tension in that movie is just absolutely riveting. I wasn't moving. I don't even know if I was breathing for like the first hour of that movie.
I had to piss, and I was like, I cannot miss any of this dialogue.
Oh yeah, no, I had to too, and I was like, nah, suck it up, Buttercup. Nothing's coming out today.
Enjoy this, janitor.
I wish I saw it in an Alamo where they were burning the blueberry pie candles.
Oh, were they?
Oh,
Yeah.
That's cool.
Damn it. That's the one thing I miss about New York is the Alamo. Now, if I saw this at the Alamo, I would have been about 7 IPAs in. I would have peed about 3 or 4 times. So I would have missed a lot.
Fill the bottles back up.
It's crazy. So yeah, by far there was actually no competition
Great
with
flick.
this. So I can't wait to buy this and watch it over and over.
Yeah, I can't wait to show this to my wife. She didn't get to see it with me. I think she'll like it.
I mean,
All right,
let her know it gets very moist once they get downstairs in the basement.
Will do. What do you got, Chad?
Okay. Every year I make a top 10 books, top 10 movies, not from this year, just that I happen to see for the first time this year, and of all genres. And so that my website made, I haven't posted yet because I didn't want any spoilers on there, but my list on the website is the same number 1 as this for Final Guys, and that's Long Legs. You guys, you're saying that I've heard people say it's nothing like Silence of the Lambs, and yeah, okay, but the 2 movies that that I was reminded of as I'm watching this was Seven and Silence of the Lambs, and I think it's fair to tell someone, if they're like, what is it like, and you're like, well, do you like Seven? Do you like Silence of the Lambs? Because they're really well done serial killer, intense thrillers. So. I think that have very unique antagonists, very unique. So I think it fits perfectly with those. But yeah, man, I love this movie. I can't believe I gotten 2 Nick Cage movies on my top 13 of the year.
Yeah, really.
Dude, you're basically a normie at this point.
Right? I guess.
What happened to you?
I love him in this movie. There's so many movies that don't. My all-time favorite performance is David Lynch's Wild at Heart with Nicolas Cage.
Oh,
but this is probably my second of his that he's so good in this. And I know it's also a little bit outlandish just with him. He looks horrible. That nobody knows, Hunter, you were trying to describe what he was.
Yeah.
He's like a contender with what's the creepy puppet in Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood?
Lady Elaine.
Lady Elaine.
Yeah. He's a contender for that kind of scary.
If Michael Jackson was still alive, he'd probably look about like that.
Just
Yeah,
morphing
he might
right
look
into
like that right now. Yeah.
Real quick, what's everybody's favorite Nick Cage movie?
Besides Wild at Heart.
Raising Arizona.
Ooh. Mine's The Rock.
Really?
I've seen that movie 4 billion times.
I'm probably gonna have to go with Raising Arizona.
Yep.
I'd have to think about it though, man. I like a lot of Nick Cage movies.
It's a hard question.
We need a baby, H.I.
Off the top of my head, that's tough.
The Lone Biker.
Maybe Las Vegas is a great one too. Yeah, but for me, Wild at Heart, easy, by a mile.
Johnny Recap says
Long
Leaving
Legs.
Las Vegas, which is very uplifting.
That's the best tequila shot of all his movies.
Con Air.
There you go.
Cyrus the Virus.
Put the bunny back in the box, or whatever the fuck he says.
So if you haven't seen
Wonderland.
Long Legs, people, I recommend it. It's got some great reveals in there. I would love to be like a fly on the wall to watch the writing and then have somebody just come up with some of these cool things. Oh yeah, and then I'll do this. There's just some cool, creepy stuff in there, man. And I love Long Legs.
Long Legs is a great movie to watch a commentary video or something, or read about, and start to look into some of the mythology, and because there was a whole marketing campaign,
Right? Yeah.
that went with this, with the Zodiac puzzles and things like that,
Yeah.
ciphers.
And the posters for this movie are really unsettling too. Even just looking at them, I'm like, man, because the long legs, you don't know what it's about. And then there's the poster with the red font with the White House in the wintertime. And then one where it looks like there's a body covered up with a blanket or something. And it's like, what? Do I even want to watch this movie? This looks insane.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man.
Hey,
Long
made it on our
legs.
list.
My number 1 or number 2, Strange Darling, could, like I said, could be interchangeable. Both absolute best movies of the year for me.
I did not expect this. I thought Strange Darling would be yours.
Yeah,
It just feels
it's
like a
more
grindhouse movie.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty. My number 1, brought to you by Yancey Street, is Heretic.
My brother.
I feel like this could be taught in film school about how to write dialogue and how to ratchet tension without doing anything on screen except having people talk.
Yeah.
It's like if you cast people right and you write dialogue correctly, you can make a movie intense as hell and nothing freaking happens. And that is this movie. I was absolutely blown away by it. I had only been impressed by Hugh Grant in Operation Fortune, but I haven't seen a lot of his movies. I just thought he was a romantic comedy actor in the 90s or 2000s, and who gives a shit?
Jam.
Yeah. This dude, if he doesn't win Best Actor, I don't know what you need to do to get an award for this. He absolutely crushes. And as the movie goes, he gets better. It's just... The ending, I don't know if they completely stuck the ending. I don't dislike the ending. I thought it was good.
Mm-hmm.
I think it could have maybe been a little bit better. But
who's going to quibble when you got
I'm
so
looking
much
forward to watching it
before the
again and seeing how it lands with me a second time.
yeah, I want to watch it with my wife too because she didn't get to see it, and I
Mine
think she's
too.
going to love it. But
I also am thinking of buying the screenplay just so I could read it and just look at it beat by beat on the page itself. I'm fascinated by this movie.
most impressive writing of the year by a mile. I don't think anything else is even close, including Strange Darling, which I thought was incredible writing.
Night Swim had.
And by the way, I'm just kidding. Werewolves is my number 1 movie of the year.
Finally, now for real.
I'll talk about it next week. I watched it last night. I can't. We need to do a main feature on this movie.
Oh,
It
boy.
is.
Fine with me.
It is wild how bad this movie is.
Well, Janine Pipe loves it.
I was going to
So
say our
we should
friend
get her on the
Janine
show.
Pipe, like her favorite movie of the year.
I could do a shot-for-shot breakdown of this movie. Like, why the fuck did you do this? Next shot. Why did you do this?
Oh, all right.
It's-
We got to
it's-
get Janine on the show, and Jason
It's
will
wild.
just crap all over it on her.
I
And
wanted to like
let's
it.
watch him and her fight like cats and dogs.
Werewolves, best movie of the year. Jack, you nailed it. It's,
The guy who was walking out as I was walking in nailed it. The movie sucked.
oh, so good. All right, boys.
Wow.
Well done.
2024 in the bag, baby. Nice
Yeah.
job.
This is the 7th year of Final Guys.
We will 2025. We will see our 8-year anniversary at the end of May, and episode 400. I think sometime in March.
Nice.
Wow.
Dang.
Big milestones.
We got to think of
Really
something
is.
good for that.
Yeah. Well, good
Dracula
meaning. Crappy.
2000 is on my.
You
We're
push
watching
for
that this year.
every time.
Crawl space for just for like a when we're done with Phantasm, when we're done with Dracula.
Klaus
2000.
Kinski, Crawl Space.
Oh yeah.
That was a family favorite back in the day. We
Very
love
nice.
Kinski. So yeah,
As-
looking forward to see what this year brings.
As for what we're doing next week, as usual, we have not talked about it at all.
I think we should do Nosferatu, but we can talk about it.
We will let you know.
Yeah,
I'm knocking shit
whatever.
off my desk. Nice job. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Yeah, we got it in
Yep.
under 2 hours. That's pretty amazing.
Thanks, everybody.
That is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys next week. Appreciate you. Bye.
Thanks for shutting by.
Peace.
Game over, man.